Did you record?
No, not yet.
Not bad. Not bad. Look at you. I think it's safe to say that you're the producer of the show now. I think it's safe to say that you're the
Producer, engineer, what am I not at this point?
Whoa. Calm down.
I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure you just took on some of these titles after like a year of doing this. Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
I had to step it up.
We appreciate your services, sir.
Had to step it up. Okay. Welcome to the Targeted Podcast, everyone. I am Sahid. That is Nicholas there, sporting his Eagles.
Of course.
Stuff yet once again, as if we care.
Every week, baby. What up, Titans fans? 38-10. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, not sorry.
Thankfully, we're not talking about football.
Not this evening.
Not this evening. We've been out for a little bit. How you doing?
I'm struggling, bro.
Love the honesty.
You know how like when you ask people like, "Hey, how you doing?" Everybody's just like, "Oh, I'm fine. They're lying.
Be honest, yeah.
Right? I'm struggling.
Be honest. No, that's definitely the default answer, because we don't want to admit that like we're not in a great place. So it's good that you just openly admitted that, and we should like be honest about that, right? All the time, man. Right? Sometimes you don't have it.
Yeah. What about
some days suck.
How you been?
Sometimes life sucks. Sometimes life kicks you in the butt. What are you gonna do about it? You just admit it. You move on. You do the best you can. It's the only thing we can do, right?
Yep. But how have you been? I asked you like 3 times.
How have I been? Oh, I'm actually pretty good. That vacation 2-week hiatus really helped me. Really set focus, just because it's just been so busy with work and then this. All this producer stuff, we joke about it though, but it does take time, right? To do. This does take time. Like finding the videos, editing, even organizing, like the topics, and normally I'm doing my research because I don't want to just be up here talking out my ass, and just talking all the time either, right? You want to give other people a chance to talk, so I try to have my notes in place where I can say what I need to say, and then shut the fuck up, right?
Fair.
So I haven't done that this time, but I don't think we need to so much, thankfully. But let's go ahead and let's get into it. So in our 2 weeks, a little bit, Kanye West did some Kanye things again, and part of me doesn't want to give this guy attention, but part of me says like we kind of have to, because we can address this shit once and for all. So Kanye West who got delved into like conspiracy theory shit, right? Went onto another famous conspiracy theorist, or infamous conspiracy theorist, Alex Jones, right? To clear the air, right? On like what he thinks about Nazis and so on and so forth. And like Alex Jones tries to give him an out. And says, "Hey, you don't like, love Nazis, or you're not a Nazi person, or you don't like love Hitler and all this stuff." I would play the video, but I didn't prepare it. But Kanye was like, "Oh, I mean, I love the Jews. I also love Nazis, and Hitler did some nice things. So there it is." I can't.
Honestly, let me tell you something, bro. I'm tired. I'm tired of him now. I'm tired. Yeah, I feel like I've said this before. This brother needs This brother needs a filter. He needs. You remember that skit that Barack Obama did at that one state dinner where he had one of the guys from Key and Peele.
Yeah,
He had him
Keenan.
be like his angry man translator. I feel like that's what Kanye West needs at this point. Like, I understand you have a viewpoint. Everybody has one, but dude, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, oh, I have love. The Nazis did some things. I have love for Hitler too. It's like, what?
Yeah, it shows how truly out of touch he is, right?
At this point, I think he's just saying some stuff just to continue like pushing people's buttons. And then he had a video. I think it was a TikTok or Instagram or something. I guess he's got some beef with Balenciaga now, so he's like burning some of their clothes and shoes, and it's like, I'm over you now, dog. Just go back, just hush it down, take a break, make some music, make some beats that we actually care about again, and just stop talking, man.
Yeah. No, I totally concur. Like it's just super, super, super frustrating to kind of have to listen to him. And when I hear someone when I hear someone say, "Oh, like I love everybody," I'm pretty sure I said this on this podcast. Like anyone who says like I love everybody doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? I literally said that on this podcast. I wish I can freaking go back in time and look at the videos like I said it, right? And this is him. And I don't know. I feel like I've been in situations where you ask people for clarity or why like what they've said is like offensive. It's like, well, I love everybody. I love this, I love that. Like, if you honestly say you love Hitler and the Jews, you don't love anybody, right? I mean, if you honestly say you love Hitler and the Jews, you don't love anybody, right? You're full of shit. You're out of touch, right? And like at this point, I think him, Elon Musk, all these guys are kind of in the same boat where they're just kind of looking for attention, right?
Yeah.
And they're willing to spend as much money and do what they have to do just to get attention, right? You see this with Elon Musk at Twitter now. He's trying to like release documents. He's forcing people to work stupid amount of hours.
Yep.
All you incel brothers who left like Elon Musk, go work for him. Let me know how that works after a few months. I've used to work crazy software engineering hours before. Actually, before I met up with you at the consulting firm, I was working on the healthcare.gov.
You told me about that.
Yeah, and this was after the crash years ago, and it was crazy amount of hours. Crazy. Like I build my hours based off of how much sleep I got. So if I got 5 hours of sleep, I build 19 hours. Right? It was stupid amount. Right? Like I'll be on calls and like I'm ordering pizza and like it's nuts. I've been, and at least in that environment though, when I went through that, it was work that I believed in. Right? Giving healthcare to people. Right?
Yeah.
Even like the work that we did, right? Trying to ensure service members get like benefits. It's work that you could believe in, right? Of course, there's bureaucracy that kind of takes you out of the work, but we'll go into that later.
Always.
Yeah, but like the stuff that you believe in, are you telling me I'm gonna like freaking spend all these hours of the day to work for Elon Musk's ego, just for some dipshits on Twitter to be able to tweet racist, angry.
The racist comments have gone up like
a
lot on Twitter, man.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's a new day.
Yeah, hate. It's amazing how people would wanna hide their need to spread hate based off of free speech, right? Oh, it's my free speech, free speech this. And then, Kanye West starts saying some shit out of his ass about loving Hitler and Jews, which empowers a bunch of anti-Semitic people to come out in the open, and it's just frustrating. Like, who are we kidding here with this, right? And it's been. I definitely remember when I used to entertain like Facebook debates. Every time I made those Nazi comparison, right? Like someone from the right would be like, "Oh no, that's not fair. That's wrong." Well, here we are. Here we are, right?
Yeah.
We had the chance to stop it then, couldn't do it, and we're just kind of just sitting on our hands and just letting this destroy this country. So hopefully we'll get past this. I hope so. But in the meantime, fuck Kanye West. Today,
Once again, the views expressed by.
Go ahead. I have no problem.
The views expressed by one of us are not always shared by the other.
So you're not fuck Kanye West?
No, but I understand your frustration, like, for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I just try not to just straight up just come out and say stuff like that. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I'm perfectly fine with when we're doing these podcasts. It's very easy for someone to take one thing, cut it up, and push it out of context. Thankfully, not popular enough for
sure
to run that problem. And I'm definitely sure that things that we say now, or opinions that we say now, aren't going to be the case 5-10 years from now. Just as we learn more and as things evolve and change, and as more people are being seen, right? Some of the things that we say will not be accurate in 10 years from now. That's fine. In terms of Kanye West, it's like, look, I'm definitely willing to support him if he's willing to help himself, right? And he's not willing to help himself. By no means is he willing to help himself. And I'm not going to oh, what's up, Travis? So Mr. Lewis's brother's online. Thanks for supporting. Yeah, I'm not willing to support him or make any excuses for him based off of like the guy thinks he's a genius. He thinks he's a genius, plain and simple. And as a result, he thinks he can't do any wrong. So
here's a question: are you still listening to Kanye West?
I'll be honest with you, no. Which sucks because some of the songs are really good. His old songs are really good, right? I mean, that's the world that we live in too. We have to be able to separate the artist from like the thoughts as well, right? And there are a lot of artists that I kind of stopped listening to that I kind of miss listening to. One of my favorite artists, rappers, was B.O.B., right? Then the fool came out saying that I wrote this flat, and I'm very pro-science.
Well, I mean, B.O.B. isn't on his level though, because I mean, I was a B.O.B. fan, right? But even I disregard the Earth is flat comment, whatever. But I just think musically he kind of fell off for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he made some mixtapes and kind of came back. But with Kanye, it's been a while since I really sat down and listened to a Kanye album, but I mean, I still will. The old ones, anyway.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to blame you on that one. Like that sucks. Kanye can whatever. Until he gets help, he can go fuck himself. That's the way I see it, and I'm totally fine with that. Hey, Obama called him a jackass.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
Speaking of Obama talking trash about people, I absolutely loved the speech he made.
Freeze. And I think it's Nicholas. Yep, it's definitely Nicholas. So until Nicholas's internet comes back, and there it is. There it is.
All right.
I love the speech. Go ahead, man.
All right. So back when So when Obama was talking about Herschel Walker, because
Yeah.
your boy Herschel Walker was basically said something about being a werewolf. Made a comparison
Yeah.
about werewolves
I
and
think
vampires.
he compared werewolves to vampires.
And
He went into a whole
Obama
speech about
said,
this.
"Yeah, I did used to think about that. I did care about that when I was 7 years old."
Oh my god. Let me freaking tell you something. If you're somebody who I mean, let's just be honest. If you're somebody that complains about like whenever a person of color gets promoted or is a manager and starts talking about meritocracy, and you said nothing about this election right here, I want you to shut the fuck up.
True,
Seriously, like
true.
shut up. Just shut up. I don't want to hear it. Right? You know, this was like they literally got the worst candidate of all time. Like to run up against, like Reverend Warnock here, just because he's black, right? And he almost won. He almost squeaked it out.
Yeah,
Like, you see how
they had
close
that
the election
runoff.
was? Like, jeez. Like, Democrats had to outspend him 2-1 to beat him, right?
I didn't think it was going to get worse than Ben Carson,
Yeah,
but
no. This is like truly like they will sit there and will complain about about diversity hires and whatnot. But what about this shit? Like right here. Like you literally got a very unqualified guy. You literally only have him running for Senate just because he's black. Nothing else. Nothing else. Just because, hey, look, we have a black person here. And when we call you guys racist, like, you get all defensive, like, no, I'm not really. Here it is right here. Right? Here it is. So, yeah. Super happy that Reverend Warnock won. This gives
absolutely.
Democrats, a 51-49 advantage in the Senate. I'm not sure how much it means because they've lost the House, not by much, but they did lose. So it is what it is, right? So definitely happy that
Yeah. Thank God, man. That
that
was a
he
close
won.
call, bro.
It was a close call, but at least we don't have to worry about it for another 6 years. Yeah, another 6 years or another 4 years when the other senator from Georgia, I forgot the guy's name,
Yeah.
runs. So I think he's going to run during the election year. So we'll see how that goes. Also, interesting fact: the Senate Majority Leader Schumacher said this too. This is like the first year, or the first time in like over 70, 80 years since 1934, that the incoming Democrat kept the House. Oh, wait, kept the Senate, right?
That's
They
crazy.
they normally lose. Like normally, the incoming party loses seats, and this has happened in almost every election. I think we shared this in like the last pre-election, right, where the incoming person always loses seats, right? This is the first time where they actually gain seats, right?
Wow.
In like since 1934, and that just shows you just how much of a fuck up Trump is. So, it really is, and it amazes me how people are still clinging on to this guy because of tribalism.
Of course.
Like
Yeah.
that. It's nuts. Speaking of Trump, see how they tried to want to change the Constitution. Oh my God! What the? Go ahead, preach, man. How do you feel? How do we feel about
This
this?
is, it's a prime example of what happens when somebody who's been given everything they ever wanted in life finally loses. He
Yeah.
still can't take it, right?
No.
It still bothers him. So I saw the headline. Honestly, it's like I knew that I needed to read it for the podcast and stuff,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It was just a waste to me. It's just like, dude, stop bitching and whining. You lost.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, and it's
Right?
amazing how.
And then
Yeah. Go
the
ahead.
fact that he makes those comments, and then it's like most of the other people in the party, like, they're just quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're just gonna let this dude
Silence
just
speaks
continue just to do
volumes.
whatever? Like,
Yeah.
why? What's so scary
Yeah.
about this man?
Yeah. Silence speaks volumes. Are you really? Who exactly
Absolutely.
are you trying to impress here? Like, you may be silent if like you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Whose feelings are we saving here? These alt-right people that are willing to shoot up like clubs, right? It was on the news recently that it was just in South Carolina where an energy section was like 40,000 people went without power, and they found out that someone went to like one of the energy generators there in the area and shot it full of holes, right? And upon further research, mind you, this is more internet research, so take it for what it's worth. Um, what they found was that this guy did this in response to a Facebook post, right? Talking about how there's going to be a what is it? A drag show in the area, and they needed to shut it down, right? And the way to shut it
What?
down is to shut out the power, right? Um, yeah, I might have to like grab the video so I can kind of show you guys kind of how we came to that conclusion, because right now it's just me just saying it, and definitely am not trying to be one of those conspiracy theorist idiots out there. But yeah, it's
I
not far from
mean,
when you
that
see
would be like
what happened
me, like,
in Colorado, right? You've seen this happen all the time, right? Um, Actually, during like the 2020, not 2020 or 2016 election, right? Some guy went to shoot up some place in DC because QAnon said that they're like
yeah.
doing what are they doing? Some like they're eating babies or some stupid shit like that, and they believe it, right? And it's just frustrating.
It's disgusting,
But
man.
yeah, it is. But yeah, the Constitution. Like, I need to change the Constitution, and I did read a little bit of his speech on that. He put it on his stupid platform, Truth Social, and it was like, "Yeah, we have to change the Constitution because our forefathers didn't like intend it this way." Yeah, well, the forefathers also made amendments as well. I mean, it's just stupid, and
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't read myself. I have a limited amount of time in a day. I just couldn't.
yeah,
I couldn't bring myself to read over it. It's just like keep
yeah,
it moving, bro.
yeah. I mean, it just shows like these so-called elitists, right?
Yeah.
Or these guys who think they're geniuses, they think they can get away with whatever they want to, and you
Yep.
can't, right?
But I mean, he's, I know he's trying to supposedly pushing for this presidential run, but I mean, he's got some problems. The Trump organization has come under charges for
Oh yeah,
tax
but
fraud, I want to say, or
yeah,
something
tax
else.
fraud. Trump org is got they just got hit with tax fraud, and two of their top executives got hit with that. What's interesting
Mm.
though about that though is that he didn't get charged.
Oh, of course not.
So yeah, all of these people around him are getting charged,
Yeah.
right, and are going to jail, but he's managed to keep himself clean. I think the big one now that they're going to have to go after is the documents that he kept at his like Mar-a-Lago residence that clearly says classified. Like,
So I believe I forget what level of the courts it's in, but I believe they somebody made a ruling about that, like that they can like release the papers for review or something like that.
yeah, yeah. No,
So
Supreme Court made a ruling. I think to I haven't read too much into it because it's just exhausting. But I think
exactly, isn't it? Isn't it
it's
though?
super exhausting. It's super exhausting. Like, I remember when we first started this podcast, and like every time it was like, and Trump did this, and Trump did this, and Trump did. It's like life event after life event after life event after life event, and it was like, dude, I kind of don't want to talk about this anymore.
Right.
but,
Exactly. Exactly.
but here the fuck we are talking about it again because a bunch of people can't or refuse to realize what this man is, right? A con artist. But yeah, this guy, oh my god, like, uh, yeah, the guy needs to be in jail, honestly, because this is the problem when people think they're untouchable, right? They just keep doing, they
Oh
don't
yeah.
learn their lesson. right? They just keep doing the same stupid shit over and over and over again until you finally just pop them, right?
You think they're above the law?
Yeah, they think they're above the law, right? I also think again the Trumps, the Elons, the Kanyes. You know how it kind of like make fun of women who like just, at least I do, who just take selfies all day and just post on Instagram for like fake validation,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right, like, oh, just and they say some stupid like motivational crap in their caption as if anybody cares.
Keep grinding, hustle 24/7.
Yeah,
That type of shit.
love yourself, and just all this stuff.
Yeah.
And what they're really looking for is just this fake validation online, right? We've seen it all the time. And they'll even when the guy would be like, "Oh well, you look sexy," and I'm like, "Well, I didn't mean this for you to say stuff like that. It's just stupid." Well, anyway, I'm making this comparison. Like these guys, the Kanyes, the Trumps, the Elons, this is their fake validation.
You're comparing them to IG models. Got
exactly. It. Yes. That's where we got to. Yes. IG models and fake IG models. The ones that are just out there, just go to their Facebook and it's just a bunch, or Instagram is just a bunch of selfies of themselves, essentially.
Yeah.
Or their but yeah, they just want that fake validation, right?
Absolutely, man.
The Kanye's that's where they are now. And they're just gonna go to anywhere that any person who's willing to listen to them, right? So yeah, it's this we're gonna be in the shit for a while with these idiots, but yeah, what's done is done. All right, we're moving along pretty quickly. Let's talk about Deion Sanders.
Yes,
right?
yes.
HBCU alum right here. So it's only fair that you kick this off, or you let the people know about the story.
Yeah. So yeah, and I was about to wear my. I didn't have time, of course, because it's like herding a bunch of cats with these kids, trying to get them to bed and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have time to get any Hampton gear, but yeah, I was. So I'm definitely not gonna say anything bad about Coach Prime, right? Because I think what he did for Jackson State was amazing. He brought the spotlight on the situation, and the situation is that HBCUs are criminally underfunded and undervalued. And if you watch any like the YouTube videos he has or the interviews where he's talking about stuff in this situation, I mean, this dude gave away like a portion of his salary to pay for expenses for some of the student athletes. I mean, he did all sorts of stuff. He leveraged his his endorsements and star power and all that stuff to get these guys like to make sure they had the appropriate attire to wear to the pregame stuff, and to make sure they had the right jerseys, all this stuff that he did. And then you saw him on like the 60 Minutes interview. And he's so charismatic. So every time he is on an interview and he's talking about this stuff, like I was glued to it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he got a lot of people's attention. But basically, he had signed a 4-year contract, but he ends up leaving after 3 years to take a job at Colorado State. And you know how our community is. So as soon as he, decided to make that move, which he said he might, here come you're a sellout, all these calls and everything. And when I initially heard that he was leaving, I was surprised. It was like I was surprised, but not. You know what I mean? Because I thought that I was hoping that he would at least do a full like 4 years, so he would have like one class that he saw all the way through. Yeah. Because you remember he got that top recruit I think a year or two ago or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm sure he came there because of him, right? And now he's gone.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Yeah. Well, so they have transfer portals now. It's so much easier now to transfer from one university to another now, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I've heard. Yeah. But, I'm definitely not going to down him for leaving. I mean, he had also said that, hey, if a Power 5 job comes a calling, I'm going to entertain it. I'd be a fool not to.
Yeah.
So, he has a right to, try to get further into his coaching career. I mean, I think this was like his first, coaching job, high level coaching job.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you get an opportunity, it's like one of us, right? If we're in these consulting firms and we, get in there for, 6 months and all of a sudden somebody comes and calling with something else, hey, I'm out. It's been great. You know what I'm saying? So
it is.
so I was like disappointed because he left, because we needed that movement, right? And the movement had a strong start, but for us to really see some changes to where, some of those schools are scheduling HBCUs, for, in a respectable manner, not just to get a win. We needed him to be there a little bit longer, right? So I'm hoping that somebody picks it up and follows the trail that he blazed for Jackson State.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to mimic, though, because how many people who are that successful, who has that kind of charisma, will jump into an HBCU? And I think what's interesting about this situation is this is something that we've seen throughout history, right? Where you see person of color, mainly black, that gets, and if you're good, you get pulled out of that situation, and it deteriorates that environment, right?
Yep.
We see this with Africa. We saw this with the Negro Leagues, right? The second Jackie Robinson went to the MLB, and people found out that was viable, and that these guys can play.
Goodbye, Negro Leagues.
Folded almost right afterwards, right? So this is something that's a thing. That being said, I think you're on the money. I think you have to appreciate what he's done, right? Like he, a lot of people were skeptical when he joined that HBCU because they thought it was going to make it about himself. In a lot of ways, he did, but he used himself to promote, and they were successful. They were very successful.
They were destroying their division.
Yeah, bro. They beat the fuck out of freaking SWAC teams.
He brought the talent in.
Shit out of those guys. My family.
I don't even think he made it. I don't really see it. I'll have to disagree that he made it about himself.
I think he did make it about himself, but in a good way, right? Not like the Kanye West, Elon Musk, Trump way, right? Make it about himself, where he
I think the charisma,
not all about me, but he used that to help everyone else. He'll use it to help that community, right? So I definitely.
that's the charismatic person. He has that magnetic personality where it's like, this dude is talking. He's interesting. I want to listen. I want to know more about what he's doing. He draws you in, and that's what he did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. I concur completely. I completely agree. So we'll see. He's going to University of Colorado. I think
they sucked.
They've been second for a while. Did you see the speech?
I love the speech. That's how I knew that this dude really, at least about the shit. What I'm saying, he cares. He knows his shit, but he really cares about coaching. This dude really cares about coaching, and I loved his speech because he was like, "I brought my luggage. I hope you have yours." You know what I'm saying? This team was about to get
we got the positions filled already. It's like, you guys been sucking for a while, right? We're not giving this a great fan base. And by the way, Boulder is very close to Denver, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty popular area. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to work, to see how successful they can be.
Denver's a nice area. I like that.
Denver is a nice area. I definitely wouldn't mind. That was actually one of the places that I was considering on moving to. So yeah, it's actually a very, very nice area. I think they're in Boulder, Colorado, which is not far from Denver at all. So when I looked at it on the map, so yeah, no, I hope that he does well. When we see something within the community, when we see an African American person do well, right? A black person do well, and they move on, and we should celebrate them. We should celebrate, right?
I mean, I hope it results in more funding. Like, I think that's one of the tougher things is just getting the money. Obviously, the black community doesn't have like the level of wealth that some of the other communities at PWIs do. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these colleges are privately owned, so it's tough to get the money. You know what I mean? Like I try to give my piece, but then there are other things that you could do that people don't necessarily know about. Like with Amazon, if you do like smile.amazon.com, you can have them give to like whatever charity that you select each time you buy something, right? So, you said I set that up. So every time I buy something off of Amazon, there's money going to Hampton. Obviously, it's not a lot, but something's better than nothing, right? Like if everybody did that, and I'm sure everybody stops on Amazon just about. So I mean, if everybody was doing that, hey.
No, actually, we should actually promote that on like moving forward. So, next time we'll put the link up and we'll talk about it more. So you gotta appreciate what he's done for like that community, and I'm happy to see him move on up. I hope he's successful where he's at, because another thing too, especially in college football, there are not a lot of black coaches, right? So, and what's telling about
I think that's another thing that he's about to shine a light on. I mean, you have the coach at these bigger schools. I mean, you have the coach at Notre Dame.
Yep.
You have him. I mean, and I think there's like a few other guys out there, but like you said, it's not that many. Yeah. So I mean, I think this is just one more battle for him to fight. You know what I'm saying?
And when black coaches usually get the job too, it's usually at like dire situations, right?
Coach and as things turn around, they get fired.
Yeah. Coach Notre Dame is one of the situations, right? It wasn't a dire situation, but Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, he's going to a dire situation, right? Some people talked about him coaching like an SEC school, which will be interesting. I think that'll be his next stop if he's successful at Colorado, because I think with the way college and NIL deals are now and the transfer portal, I think someone like him with his charisma will be very, very valuable, right? It's huge on getting NIL and it's huge on college. Is huge on recruitment. That's like the number one thing, right? And the best coaches do that. The Nick Sabans. Let's just start with Nick Saban.
Screw Nick Saban, man, because that guy was like getting mad at because some of these recruits were getting stolen, I guess, from Alabama, and I using his words or whatever, like stolen from Alabama and all this stuff. Like, screw that guy.
Yeah, I mean, their time is done.
You can't get them all.
Yeah, their time is there. He's always been an asshole, and he knows that, right? He knows that he's an asshole. But at the same time, you guys, these coaches, are the highest paid people in their states sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Talk less of the university, right? The states, right? And it's not because you graduate players. I mean, you can lie to yourself and people will believe it's like, oh, it's about grooming young men. It's like, no, it's about winning. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Not because they graduate or anything, they win, and winning brings money to the university, right? And that's why they pay you. So, yeah, I'm all for NIL deals. I wish it was a little bit more spread out. Now, because like football and basketball, they're going to be the big getting NIL deals, right? When it comes to women's sports, it's probably not going to be as much unless you're like a blonde-haired white girl. That's just the facts, right? One of the more popular NCAA athletes, her name is, I think, Olivia Dunn. She's an LSU gymnast, right? And she makes like almost $1 million a year on like NIL deals, right? In our Instagram and
Yo,
social media.
I love that too. Love that these students are finally getting paid, man.
Yeah,
love that.
I do like that it's getting paid, but however, only certain students are getting are getting paid. Like Paige Beckers too, right? Another blonde woman who is a basketball player at UConn. Really good player, by the way. Great player. She actually spread light on this too, on how lighter tone women white women or lighter tone women tend to get more notoriety than dark women. Now,
You know that.
I keep up a little bit with NCAA basketball, or at least women's side. Not so much, I'll admit. But to prove this point, so Paige Beckers, she was like the athlete of the year or college athlete of the year a couple years ago, was invited to ESPN, the award show, right? Aaliyah Boston, right, who was on the national championship South Carolina Gamecocks, right? That's a really good team, by the way. Coached by Don Staley, right? Legend Don Staley, right? So she
Legend
was like
indeed.
awarded or nominated for Athlete of the Year. Again, bigger, darker, dark-skinned woman from the islands, right? And she wasn't even invited to the award show, though she was nominated, right? And that's the kind of the part now that we need to, that I'm a little bit worried with NIL deals, is that it's catering to some students, right? Just because of looks and aesthetics. Again, Olivia Dunn, blonde white girl. Paige Becker, blonde white girl. Highly paid, highly paid NIL sponsors and for women's side, right? But what about the other students that are doing just as well, that doesn't have those Eurocentric features, right? That's definitely something to think about as this continues to grow, right?
I feel you, but I also think that's par for the course. I mean,
Yeah, it is. I mean, we can still strive for better. We can still strive for better.
oh,
Right?
always.
But yeah, absolutely. All right. Have you ever played The Last of Us?
I have not.
Man, that's a good game. So I don't like
I've
scary.
read nothing but good things about this game.
Yeah, there's The Last of Us Part 2 that I haven't played yet. Part 2 that I haven't played yet. And I haven't I guess part of the reason why I didn't play it is because I don't like scary games. I don't like being in a frantic state, right? But I played the first one, and even though there's some scary fucking parts there, and I played this shit on easy, I had no shame. Fuck that. I had no shame. It's like, give me easy, give me auto aim, give me all the easy stuff. I don't do that on Horizon, which is more my speed. But like on this game, yeah, put that shit on easy. Give me all the shit. Give me all the stuff. I have no
I'm not a
shame.
horror movie guy. I'm not a horror like anything guy. Like it's not.
Yeah.
That's really why I didn't play it.
Yeah, it's not my thing, but I played it and it was really, really good. And I say this because HBO is coming out with the Last of Us game series, and one of our favorites, I think Pedro Pascal is his name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Pedro Pascal, I got it right. Good. If you don't know, he plays the Mandalorian.
I'm surprised you didn't say his name with an accent.
Pedro Pascal.
Cool. What was the
I
name
was
of that
just
city?
trying to pronounce. You're making fun of my Talocan. Talocan, which I love it, and I will never, unless a Latino person or a Mesoamerican person tells me, "Hey, stop it right now." I'm gonna keep doing it. So yeah.
One of our Latino friends, please dial in and tell Sahid to stop.
Yeah. We need to get Jose back to get his thoughts, actually. So yeah. No, so this show's happening. It's about
What up, BK?
Oh, BK, what is up?
Trying to get this guy on. Trying to get that guy on this week, man, but he was busy. Too busy for us, man.
He's always busy. He's busy doing his things. He's busy being successful.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
I got you,
Pretty
man.
much.
No, but The Last of Us, yeah, it's great game. Normally, when they try to make shows and movies out of games, it doesn't work too well. Like it just doesn't work too well. But this looks pretty good. I didn't download the video to watch this time because I haven't really changed the aspect ratio with what we're doing now. I'll do it maybe next time. But if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. This actually might be a pretty good one. Also,
okay. So speaking of video game movies,
yeah, go for it.
Mario Brothers, Super Mario, the animated movie. I knew it was like after the success of Sonic, which I mean I can still rewatch. I think that was actually a pretty good movie. I've rewatched it with the kids a couple times now.
Yeah,
I knew it was coming.
Of course.
However, this dude has no Italian accent. It's Chris Pratt is voicing Mario, and when I saw the trailer, it kind of took me out of it a little bit. I was like, he's supposed to get the "It's me, I'm Mario," right?
I think that's the problem too, right there, because we Sonic, yeah, shout out to Sonic, yeah.
So is Victoria and Olivia, man.
Yeah. So we know what Mario sounds like. That's the thing. Like we've seen it in like Super Smash Brothers and playing Mario or Mario Kart or playing Super Mario. We've heard his voice, right? And like for Chris Pratt, and like I know Chris Pratt gets a lot of shit from people for multiple reasons. I'm not a Chris Pratt hater, but that voice, like, I'm sorry, like, when that happened, I was like, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? And
Exactly.
I know you wanted to get Chris Pratt there because he's a popular.
Some star power.
He's star power, which makes sense. This makes sense, right? But it's like, come on. Give him a Jesus Christ, like, dude, like.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's.
Because video game movies have a tough. So you got Sonic, which was good. I thought the Detective Pikachu was okay, right?
Yeah.
The first Mario movie.
I wouldn't mind watching that. Yeah.
It was okay. The first Mario movie was horrible.
Of course.
Remember that where they were God. They gave him the jumping shoes.
Oh God.
And then you have and I just rewatched this movie today. You remember the Uncharted movie? I think it came out like
so that's
years
another
ago.
Yeah, it came out a couple years ago, Tom Hiddleston. So yeah, there's a trend of like these video games movies coming out and they're actually being decent. Which is shocking. Right?
So the Uncharted movie on the second watch, I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize they had freaking after credit scenes. Two of them, in fact.
You can blame the MCU for that shit. It's like, I can't just leave a theater now. I just have to wait to the end.
Like the average audience member isn't going to care or know who these people are in the post-credit scene. So it's like, great game though. One of the best game franchises I ever had.
Yeah,
but
it's fun. Well, speaking of this, I'm surprised we were able to get through all this stuff. Speaking of it, it's the last transition. It's out on digital, right? Black Adam, right?
Yes, sir.
I had some dinner with some friends on, I think, Sunday, and at the Thai restaurant, which is downstairs to me, and they were playing it on one of the screens, and I was like, "Whoa, it's already out." I'm not willing to pay any money for it. I literally will wait till it comes out on HBO Max.
We did that. We rented it. It was like $6. We did a $6 rental.
Yeah, I pay $14 for HBO Max. If it's gonna it's gonna be there eventually. I can wait. Before you give your review, there are a couple things I want to show. First, The Rock apparently. So we know that. Spoiler alert a little bit. Superman's going to be in the movie end credit scene, right? There, The Rock apparently pushed hard to have Henry Cavill reprise his role as Superman.
He did.
In that
shout
show.
Shout out to The Rock for that. I mean,
yeah,
Henry Cavill deserves another turn as Superman for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And apparently he kind of blasted the WB. So this is The Rock kind of flexing the star power a little bit. And I'm a little bit concerned with guys like this flexing their star power because they're not nearly as talented as they think they are. But in this case, it's good. Right? Because like we've complained about this a lot. Like Warner Brothers is a mess when it comes to the DCEU, right? And Blue Beetle, they just released a poster for Blue Beetle. We can talk about that some other time. But there's a guy that I follow on Instagram who's like a Hispanic storyteller, and he was like super hyped about like Namor and
that's the dude that you showed, right?
That's the guy I showed. Yeah, super hyped. Yeah, so he's super hyped about Black
Blue Beetle, as he should be.
I was little. I had to comment on this like post like I don't know, man. I want this to be good, but DC has some misses. He responded to me with like, well, the MCU in Phase 4 has some misses. I'm like, and that's true, but DC's had some big misses. And
at this point, yeah. And at this point, you remember how before, I think earlier when we started the podcast and a little bit after, when the DC movies were coming out, and I would be like more excited about, this is going to be dope.
Yeah.
These days, I'm like, oh, another movie's coming out. I wonder. It's just like, I just don't have the excitement. I want to defend them as much as I can, but I just can't anymore. I just can't.
So yeah, you finally are where I'm at. I was like that after the Suicide Squad movie. After Suicide Squad was what was gutted it for me. That was like, you know what, I can't get excited for this anymore. Right? That's what gutted for now. Like every time a DC movie comes out, like I don't even care if it's like if I get spoiled. Like I don't care. Like I would go and watch Black Panther just so someone doesn't spoil for me. Like Black Adam, if that comes out, when that comes out, I didn't really care.
Oh well.
And yeah, I don't really care. But I am happy that like The Rock used his star power a little bit to bring Henry Cavill back, because he wasn't a bad Superman. He was not a bad Superman.
He was a great Superman.
Means.
People bitching and complaining that he wasn't what's his face? Christopher Reeves. It's like, of course he's not Christopher Reeves.
No one is. So he was pretty good Superman. And the problem isn't with him. The problem is that stupid ass studio, right? Like I'm not a huge fan of Zack Snyder, but like either you hire him, you let him do his work, or you don't. Don't direct his shit and then change his shit, right? Again, I can sit there and I can make fun of Zack Snyder all day, no problems, with head cuts offs and yelling no's and stuff like that. But still, at the end of the day, you hired him to do his job, let him do his job, right? Don't keep trying to change his shit.
Precisely.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Let me give my my spoiler-free review.
Yeah,
it's an average movie. It's nice. It reminds me of the Fantastic Four movie. Like it's a nice little popcorn flick, but you're not really going to get a lot out of it, right? And it seemed like the whole thing was pretty much so. I feel like The Rock could just show off. It's very much The Rock's movie. He got everything he wanted. You got to battle everybody, but it's like that was pretty much it. There wasn't really a lot to it. Yeah. And surprisingly, I think my wife got into the movie more than I did.
Wow.
Because at one point it looked like somebody was about to kick the bucket. And she was like, oh my God, no, The other thing that I was a little disappointed about was how underutilized some of the characters were.
Mm.
Dr. Fate is DC's Doctor Strange.
He's
and
extremely powerful.
And I would even go so far as to say, y'all can challenge me in the comments. I would say Dr. Fate would beat the hell out of Doctor Strange. Okay. But in the movie, it was like this dude had one move. You know how when you play in Street Fighter and somebody like spams like that one move or whatever that you just they find that one character, they spam that one move. That was Doctor Strange in this movie, bro. Every time you needed him to do something, he had one trick. And I was just like, dude, this dude, he can do anything. And this is all you have him doing?
Yeah.
And the person that he ended up fighting, it's like in the comics, like he eat these type of people for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But here it's like, oh, I'm not going to spoil it. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like, no. Yeah. Hawkman, I did love Hawkman's character. And I liked everything they did with Hawkman, actually. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a Hawkman movie, story, show, however they want to do it. I think they did enough to justify it with this movie. Hawkman, I think, got a lot of shine in this movie, good. And I'd be all in for that. But other than that, yes, super average movie. You know, you pretty much got what you wanted at the end. The balance of power will change. Yeah, all that type of stuff.
Was The Rock essentially The Rock? Like, was he like the same guy in pretty much?
So for those of you who don't know, right?
Try to be like an Egyptian, or did he even try? Did he make an attempt, or is it just like I'm The Rock? And
it started off. This is the thing. It starts off back in the day. They're speaking this ancient language. Somebody at DC decided, hey, the audience doesn't need subtitles. Nice. So you hear, you know what I mean? And it's like, and me and the wife are sitting there like, I guess somebody's about to die. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea. Fast forward, and Black Adam's, his name is his actual character's name is Teth Adam, right? He's 5,000 years old at this point. Dude wakes up and is talking English like me and you are right now.
Yep. Well, I mean, he has Shazam, so he has like
no.
He has the intelligence of like, I don't know.
No. You could have very easily explained that in the movie, right? If you wake up from a 5,000 year sleep and you're suddenly speaking the King's English out of nowhere, you could have started off and then I'll use the power of whatever Egyptian god is in charge of whatever of now. You got to say something, bro.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
All throughout the movie, anytime somebody uses this ancient language, there's no subtitles.
Oh my god! Yeah,
so I was like,
I don't know. You have to even turn on subtitles. I don't know.
Like I said, average popcorn flick. If you want to see this joint, if it's time to eat lunch during the day while you're working from home, put this movie on. That's pretty much what it is for me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
if you wanted to watch somebody like blow something up with some of your nephews and nieces or whatever, put this movie on.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with The Rock too that kind of frustrates me, is that he has it in his contract. Same thing with like Vin Diesel and like Jason Statham and all these tough guys, that they can't get beat up too much on screen, right? I think we talked about this before, right? Which is the reason why the Fast and Furious movies are so weird, because like these fights are just so like very just weird because they have it contracted where they can't get beat up too much on TV.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's frustrating. All right, cool. So that's it for today. Cool. Thank you so much for watching. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Apple. We
Amazon,
out there.
Twitter,
Amazon. So please give a like, subscribe. Cool. So, peace out.